What are we missing? Music. Alright, so Rias has kindly pointed out a couple of bugs. Let's take a look at them. Made a bundles, line 434. It's just easier. $434, huh? Good morning, Wejeben. How do you pronounce that? You guys are testing me. Can I just call you Ben? Alright. I missed updating the source handle variable, which caused an exception further down the chain when adding programmatics. Huh. I wonder what he's talking about. Get content meta bundles. What is he saying? Oh, I see. I see what he's saying. All right. So he's saying that the error is not in this method, but it's further down the call chain. Interesting. Huh. Well, that's not good. Oh, I see the confusion. All right. So folks, we're working on SEO-matic for Craft 3, and Rias is using the dev version, and he's run into a couple of issues, and he was kind enough to let me know about them. Yeah. Okay. So I think he's actually talking about this function. Wait a minute. Okay. Yeah, no, I totally messed that up. Oops. Let's fix it. Yeah. We totally should be doing this. I think it's just that, but let me see. Yeah, we want to do this, I believe. Oh, nice. Okay. It's going to throw an exception, potentially. Yeah. Yeah. Because we want the category group that this is in. Alright. We don't really want it to throw, so... Oh, and that's why the linting didn't pick it up. Yeah. Because I am defaulting these. That makes sense. Alright. And he says I've got a double colon somewhere too. So let's look at that. The settings controller. Yeah, I'm not surprised. These are the things that I was working on recently. I may have already fixed that. I'm not sure. Nope. Oh, gross. How did that happen? How did that even... How did that even work? Nasty. All right. Good enough. I'm just going to be doing my thing, but if anyone has any questions, feel free. So what I really would like to be able to do is get a beta of SEO-matic for Craft 3 out this week. And the only real problem that I have with that is I'm kind of old school. Like for me, beta is feature complete. I don't know if I can do feature complete by the end of the week, plus documentation on it. But I think I can get it pretty close. But the main reason I want to get it out is, feedback like I've gotten from Rias and Yuri and other people that are using it has been really helpful. And I also would... I think that it's got enough in here that is working that it will be useful to people who are building or have built a Craft 3 website. Yeah. All right. So what I was doing was... I'm going to try and be nice to this mic. All right. So what I was just doing is doing a little housekeeping, making sure that all of the services were in the composer.json, and then also that they're all in here, so that we get the nice type hinting and all that good stuff. So let's see what may not be in here. So front-end templates, so the helper is not in here. Ew, that's getting big, huh? Jason LD, link. Those are my dogs going crazy. Yeah, I'm with you, Ben. Like, alpha is feature incomplete to me. I don't know if the PHP dev world does alphas, though. Like, I don't even know if that's a thing. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna check real quick to see what these dogs are going nuts over. There might be someone at the door. Enjoy the pony. I'll be right back. All right. I can't even make this shit up. It was a Jehovah's Witness. Dogs are barking, going crazy, and it's a freaking Jehovah's Witness tracking me down at my door. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. All right, link service, meta bundles. Redirect service, which may go away. Alright, so the template's not in there either. I don't know if I'm going to keep the template service in. I added that for Yuri, but it may not be very useful, unfortunately. Basically, it gives you accessors to the front-end templates. Yeah, I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses, come on, get with the times. Just, like, spam people like everybody else does, right? Amazing. Just amazing. All right. I try to do these things atomically with decent commits. It's just me working on this project right now, but it's still best practice to do that. All right. That's really weird. All right. Let's get back to what we're doing here. All right, so just for anyone watching and also for me to get an overview of what's left. So global meta is where you set the global fallback, default, whatever you want to call it, settings for everything for the site. This stuff all works. You can pull from various sources, custom image, custom URL, whatever you want. Twitter settings all work. Facebook settings all work. You can see you can have different images for Facebook or Twitter. Same thing with the descriptions. Yada, yada, yada. Robots.txt. We've got a little editor. Can flick these on or off. I think it was Masuga was asking for the ability to turn these things off for whatever reason. And humans.txt. And then the content meta, and this is something that needs to be cleaned up. This is a display that I had in here, so this is on my list of things to do. Just make this look a little bit nicer. I think this is fine, but this should go to the link to edit it, and there should be a little globe if you want to actually view it. Right now, if you click this, you'll actually go to the section. All right. Just asking Luke James for some more information. He's saying something's not working. Oh, there's Rias. You couldn't get the title and description from Fields to work yet. Well, I am going to test that right now and we'll see what happens. And if something's not working, I'll fix it. All right. So let's see what happens. So we'll do from field rich text. I don't even know what's in there. And let's see what it pulls out. Nice. That shouldn't be in there. All right, I'll debug someone else's stuff later. Let me fix mine right now. All right. Yeah, I really shouldn't be doing that. I should be doing this. It's probably unrelated to it not working, but still something that should be fixed. Thought so. And I bet we gotta fix it in the Twitter one. Yep. It's the only place we do it there. And basically what it's doing is to make sure that things are exactly as they will be when they're rendered. When we're doing the preview, is we actually tell the elements, hey, render yourself. And these are the same methods that end up getting called if you ask for, like if you're doing an SPA and you ask for an array of the meta items so that you can inject them yourself on the front end. So it's all going through the same code path. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so it does indeed seem to not be working. So let's see what's going on. So if we switch to custom text, this is exactly what it's going to be running. Yeah, okay. Well, that's why it's not working. It's wrong. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay, so that's actually what's going on. Okay. Yeah. So I think this code is actually working the way it's supposed to. But what is not working is right here. Yeah, because we totally shouldn't be checking the source sample. We should be checking the bundle type. Alright. Still not working. Crazy. What is going on here? Yeah, and I'm in content meta. Let's do quick and dirty sanity check to see what is going on. Alright, so it's a section. That's a section. Well, maybe it is further down. Yeah. Should be entry dot. Maybe we're actually not prefixing it. So there might have actually been 2 bugs in this. In fairness, I was doing this late at night. The content since it doesn't include the section in the URL. Okay. I'll take a look at that next, yes. Oh, what the hell? I never even put it in here. That's insane. Oh no, I did. What? First of all, we shouldn't be calling this element type in one place and element name in another. And actually, I think element name makes a whole lot more sense. All right. We're definitely passing it down. Let's rename it here too, though. That's not gonna work either. Now is it? Ay, ay, ay. Look at that. Yes. It actually works the way it's supposed to now. Alrighty. So we can actually pull from stuff. Let's see if we do a matrix. That's not working though. So let's see what gets generated. So that should work, I would think. But apparently it doesn't. So let's check out our templates and see what's happening. Nothing. Well, let's make sure the matrix isn't empty. Imagine that. Not a fan of interpolation. What do you mean, Rios? When I think of interpolation, I think of graphics animation stuff, so I'm not sure what you mean. But look at that, if you have an empty block, it's not going to return anything. Here is some more text. Yeah, please do. We got Tim Kelty who's like, can I heckle you? And of course. Go for it. I don't care. I got 2 kids, nothing scares me. Yeah, okay. So it's extracting it, right? It was actually working the whole time. But if you have an empty matrix, it's not going to return any text. Yeah, so here it is. So this is the text extracted from the matrix. Please do. Tim, just working on SEO-matic. Grinding my way towards the beta. I would really like to get a beta out this week. All right, so basically what Rios was talking about is using string literals. So in my code here, I'm using the concatenation operator to concatenate this stuff together, but you could use string literals in here. And so, for example, if I was doing this with string literals, this would look something like this. Right? And then you could have it all in one fell swoop, right? So for a couple of reasons, and I do this in some cases, I notice that I do it a lot more when I'm working with JavaScript on the front end, or in Twig as well. But one of the reasons I didn't do it here is in PHP, I've really been training myself to use single quotes for everything. And yeah, I could use double quotes to make this all work too. But it ends up looking a little funky when I'm doing the interpolation with the curly braces, and we've got curly braces here for the twig tags that it's outputting, right? And at least to me, it just ends up looking a little weird. You know? 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Works either way. Hopefully that makes sense, Rios. All right. So Rios has been on fire. He's pointed out a couple of things that were not working, which is fantastic. I was planning to test them today. Because this is literally the last thing that I worked on last night, was getting all of these pull fields working properly. And then the question is, do I want to do some kind of a preview of this stuff? So there's a preview up here of Google and what it cares about. But you don't get a preview of either the, well, I mean, the image, I mean, I guess you kind of do. a little preview of it here. But you don't get it up there. And you don't get a preview of the keywords either. But let's do that. I don't know if it really matters. Like, I'm not really sure that I care. Back in the day, there was a performance difference between single and double quotes. Well, Ben, I mean, there probably still is. To some extent, you use single quotes, you're basically telling PHP you don't have to parse anything. But with OP cache, op cache, however you want to call it, and PHP 7, I mean, who knows? The difference may be so small that who cares, right? And yeah, Tim saying if PHP had backtick string literals, I'd use them, and I'm kind of with him on that too. But I don't know, I just try to use kind of whatever makes sense, and to me, when I'm mixing and mingling the twig braces with string literals, like it just, I don't know. It just looks funky to me. And I try to think, if I'm going to look back at this in a year and try and figure out what's going on, I want it to be, like, I want the least clever code possible. That's my goal. And double quotes can die forever. All right. No, but really, I mean, I've written some really, really nasty, gnarly, clever code, and I always feel proud in the beginning, and then I regret it for the rest of my life. Yeah, you're right. Rias is saying that PHP Storm highlights it well, and yeah, he's right. All right, Rias, just for you, let's take a look at exactly what it's gonna look like. I don't know. And the other thing is, a part of me is like, well, I don't know. Like, I might not be using PHP Storm when I'm looking at it. I might be SSH'd into a live server and things are blowing up and I don't know what the hell is going on, and yada, yada, yada. All right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You guys tell me which is better. Now, probably where it really starts to make a difference in terms of looking better is here. But one of the things that we're going to end up with if we do use that is we're going to hit the PHP CS or whatever it is linting that says that our lines are too long. Yeah, Tim is asking, do I have misgivings about building up these twig strings in PHP? Part of me says yes. But I kind of made this fundamental decision that the variables that are... Okay, so let's start from kind of basics here. And I'm looking at this. I don't know. I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on it. I think that... I'm honestly... think that the first one is probably more readable, at least if I'm using PHP Storm. I don't know. I might revisit it. Yes, I think you might be right. But I got some bigger fish to fry at the moment. Like making it work. But yeah, so what Tim was asking was, does it feel weird building this in... building these twig tags in PHP, and to some extent it does. But the fundamental problem that I was looking at trying to solve with this stuff is... So here are the global variables in SEOmatic. So that in your templates you can do seomatic.meta.seotitle, right? And the problem I wanted to solve is I wanted to make it so that for people that just don't want to deal with it, they can, in one line of code, they can change the SEO title, and it's going to change the title for the title tag, Twitter, Facebook, and anything else that uses title, right? So then, okay, what we would be looking at is kind of, and there are various places where these variables are used. So then we'd be looking at something that I would need to build something that, it would need to have a source, and it would need to say, you know, pull from this or use this, and then we'd be doing variable substitutions and all that kind of stuff. And then I was thinking, well, I mean, Twig already does that, right? And that's actually how you can build up the URIs for various sections. You can enter basically object template stuff, and that's what Craft uses for things like that. And I said, you know what? Maybe it makes sense to just leverage what's there and do it that way. And it does make it kind of nice from a consistency point of view, because, you know, if we look at this, well, I have to actually save it first. So if we look at this, nice, it doesn't work. All right, let's see. So if we look at this, no. All right, let's look at this, and then I'll go back and fix that one. So if we do summary from fields, you know, rich text or whatever. So this twig, what it executes to do this is the same thing that you would put in a template if you wanted to do that. Yeah, I was going to use getter setters, Tim, but I ended up just going with Fluent model so that it's just dot variable name to return the value, and it's dot variable name with something in parentheses to set it. I did try both. I did try the getters and setters, but I ended up just liking the way the Fluent model worked a little bit better. It just felt a little more natural to me. But originally it actually was get and set for every prop that was on there. And now it's just dot prop name to return the property, and dot prop name parentheses some value. Yeah. So, fun with design decisions, but yeah, in templates, you're going to do exactly the same thing that I do here to generate them. So, why not just be consistent and let it be essentially the same thing from all the way down through. All right, let's find out why our stupid keywords doesn't work. We'll spare Rias the time of telling me that it doesn't work. All right. It's going to be something dumb, I'm sure. All right. Yeah, I don't know, Rias. The more I think about it, the more I kind of like using the string literals. All right. That's bizarre. So the template looks right. And it remembers it. So it must be the extraction part that's wrong. It's funny, I do have PHP Storm all set up nicely to debug stuff for me, but a lot of times I just do this. All right. Oh, what the hell? Oh. You know what this might be? There might not be... The Yi model might not have a validator for the SEO keywords. Could be. Yep. Derp. That's gonna work better. I don't use keywords either, Rias. But unfortunately, I mean, Bing parses them. Baidu and non-Google, they do look at them. And then there's also just the conceptual thing where some people think they need it. They really don't, but they do. Okay. So it's not displaying in there, but I think the reason it's not displaying is in my junk template. I think I'm... Really? Oh. Yeah, that would do it. That's all that's in there. No, it's not, though. The rich text should have a bunch of stuff in it. It's interesting. It uses some kind of lexical analysis and will pull out the most frequently used sentences. That works. I'll tell you what, just as a test. Let's see. I have no idea why you would ever want to do this, but... Well, that's working the way I would expect it to. I think something is changing it. Get at those return types. What return types do you mean? Oh, in the functions? Yeah, usually I do put explicit return types in there, but there are certain, like, it annoys the crap out of me. So it needs to work on PHP 7. So you can't set an explicit return type and also have it potentially return null, which a lot of my methods need to be able to do, which is irritating as shit. No, you're right. I don't care about the heckling, and I normally do that, but it's one of those things that it actually irritates me because it's dumb. I mean, it really is just dumb. Yeah, I know PHP 7.1 is nullable, but Craft has a minimum requirement of PHP 7, so I can't do it. Stupid. Like, why would they torture people? And add return types and not let them be nullable. Like, why would they ever do that? It's stupid. You know, if you're working on PHP and you're like, oh, we should add some stronger typing and lets you set return types. But we're not going to let you make them nullable until 7.1 so that you have a compatibility nightmare if you want to try and do something that doesn't suck. Like, let's just do it that way. I don't know. Maybe there were good reasons. Maybe. Yeah, okay, so this is just stupid. This is me being stupid, so this is why it wasn't working. So this is a peek under the hood. In SEOmatic for Craft 2, it was really just a template that was rendered, which was nice from a... Don't box myself in. How am I boxing myself in? But it was really just a template that was rendered with all of the meta stuff in there, and I passed down the variables I needed to render it right. And in the Craft 3 version, every meta item is an object. And the initial configuration comes from these config files. So these are just the props, and all of the objects are then in containers. But yeah, the reason it wasn't rendering right is it was setting the default value of the keywords to the title, which it's not going to work. But you can see, Tim, you can see how the other thing that it lets me do is in my configuration then for in these just plain text files, I can just put the twig code that the default settings and stuff should be, which is kind of nice too, as opposed to having, you know, field name, pull from, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. And the way that twig rendering works, it's pretty good. It caches everything. Hopefully there won't be any scalability issues. Famous last words. All right. So that's going to fix that. Now I'm going to revisit this to see if I like it better. There's some things about PHP as a language that I just shake my head. Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Which one? All right, let's do a particularly. Let's do a nastier one. This is gonna drive me crazy because it's gonna. Yeah, it's totally gonna complain about the line being too long. Come on. You can do it. Yes, Tim is asking the tags that are created. So what it does is, if you have an SEO-matic config directory in your config directory, when it's looking to instantiate any of these things, it looks there first. And if the file exists there, it uses it. And if it doesn't exist, it uses it from the default config. So it's granular only on a per file level. But yes, that all works out of config.php. So the idea is, if you didn't like my defaults, you can make your own, whatever the hell you want, and you can stuff them into your config, and away you go, right? I don't know, Rias. I think it's a little more readable using the string literals, but it's also a really fucking long line. But I could just split it up. I mean, there's no reason why I couldn't just split it up. I think it's a little more clear what's happening with the string literals. Alright, Tim says use sprint F. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, that's an option too, right? All right. In the end, I think I just don't care enough. Yep. And then you can use an array, sure, if you use sprintf. I have never used vsprintf in PHP, so all right, let's take a look at that. I don't know that that's any better though, guys. I really don't. Yeah, no, I looked it up. I'm looking at it. And actually, this reminds me. I'll show you what the Pixel and Tonic guys do. If I can remember where it is. Yeah. here we go. So they do their own kind of little... It almost looks like Twig. So they do their own kind of little tokenizer. Instead of using sprintf, they just use string replace. Yeah, I think using the object template stuff here is definitely overkill. I mean, here they're just making it kind of look Twig object template-ish. They're not doing anything with it. Here are the tokens. They do a string replace with array values, and then away they go. I don't think, I mean... You know, I don't think this is necessarily any better than just using PHP string literals. Alright, I think Tim's right though. We need something a little more upbeat from a music point of view. Safe how? Define safe. Oh, that. Yeah. No. I'm not rendering an object template just to do this. It's fucking ridiculous. Rendering an object template to get an object template that I can then render. No, render object template definitely throws exceptions. Definitely does. So this is where I've got like a helper class for rendering object template stuff. And if I'm not catching exceptions here, if there's any errors in the object template, it's going to throw one. All right. I don't know. Out of all of them, I think I like what Rias is suggesting the best. In any event. So he is saying that switching between sites here doesn't work. And look at that. It's because I added this. And I don't even really need it. Because I pass in whatever the thing is anyway, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. But I need coffee. Enjoy the pony, getting coffee. Yep, it's Jane's Addiction. From Nothing Shocking. All right. So I thought about it when I was upstairs. And I think Rias is right. I think we're gonna go with it. Because what I was thinking about was that, so I had an error in here, right? It didn't have a dot where it needed it. And I think it would have been a lot more apparent to me that that was the case had I used this syntax. So that's my rationale. What did it say it was? Alt-Enter? No, I know there's a way you can just switch the quotes, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, duh. Yeah, of course. It only did it for that. Ends up not really helping that much. Yeah, I mean, I don't love it, but I think out of all of the choices, it's probably the least bad. Taking you back. Nah, I love me some Jane's Addiction. Jane's Addiction, little Rage Against the Machine, little, it's good coding music for sure. God damn. As helpful as PHP Storm is, it can be really annoying. Alright. So now it's whining about the line length, but it definitely looks more readable to me. 90s bad boy. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I like it. Yeah, so we'll do the same thing here. Gross. Yeah, actually, in this case, it actually makes it worse, though. Because I do have some quoted strings that need to be part of the final built thing, and yes, I know I can escape them, but that looks even nastier. And And then do I want to have one function that works this way and one that works the other? God damn it. Ah. Come on. You can do it. Well, that was fun. Yeah, but Tim, PHP Storm works with it does everything WebStorm does too. Yes, Rias. It auto-completes stuff for me. It's just irritating as hell. Like, I do it like a case statement, and it's suggesting some random weird shit, and I'm like, what are you doing? But Tim, I mean, you get the JavaScript code inspections and linting, you get HTML, you get Twig, you get all that. The Java wrapper. Yeah, I know. Believe me, I'm a snob when it comes to that too, and I find it somewhat revolting that I'm running a Java app. But then again, I think it's even more revolting that if you're using VS Code, you're running JavaScript. So, I mean, pick your poison, my man. Yeah, it has everything WebStore comes with. It's a superset of it. As far as I know, I haven't found anything missing. Like literally everything. You can set the level of linting. You want ES6, whatever you want for JavaScript and HTML, and I mean, here's the other thing that I just like it for when working with Craft. So here's my junk template. Watch this, Tim. Watch and be amazed. SEO-matic. Oh, look at that. It knows what it is. Can autocomplete it. Of course, I'm not letting it. And then it knows all of the services that hang off of it. So let's say I want script, dot, whatever. See what I mean? You're right, Rias. I could just convert those over to single quotes. I could go the other way with it. You're absolutely right. But are you seeing this, Tim? Yeah, it's the Symfony plugin. Right? It gets better, though. So let's say you're doing craft stuff, right? Set woof equals craft dot entries. You seeing this, my man? Section limit. You see this? Right? It will autocomplete this stuff for you. It's nice. So it does that in Twig, and it also does that in PHP. Actually, Tim, I'm shocked at the amount of PHP that you write, and you don't use PHP Storm. I am shocked. What do you use if you don't use PHP Storm? And how the fuck are you making plugins for Craft not using PHP Storm? Like, I don't even get it. Do you use Prettier or some other kind of tool for formatting stuff? Atom? Wow. God damn. You cannot complain about the fact that it's using Java if you're running Atom, running JavaScript to do your editor, man. Oh my goodness. And here's the thing, Tim. Like, I don't know. How much of your work is actually PHP stuff, though? I think it's not a huge amount. I mean, I've seen you write a reasonable amount of custom stuff. But like, here's the thing. Like, and this, if you do any level of or any amount of PHP stuff, let me just show you why you should be using it. Where were we? Oh, we were in the controller. All right. You see that, Tim? Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about linting is PHP Storm does it live in the editor. Yeah, okay. But let me show you something. You see this little red dot, Tim? Do you know what that little red dot is? Look at the dot. Atom 2. Atom, okay. If this is actually true, then I'm very impressed. I didn't know that Atom let you do this, but it does let you set things like conditional breakpoints and then step through the code. If Atom can do that, then that's great. I didn't know that it could do that. I'm actually very surprised that Atom can do things like breakpoints and stepping through the code and inspecting the stack and all that stuff. But they must have some kind of a PHP plugin that talks to Xdebug, huh? Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what PHP Storm does. And it very, very handy is that you have conditional breakpoints too. Yeah, it's very not jank with PHP Storm. It works really well. I can set a breakpoint here, I can step through the code, I can step in, I can step out, I can look at the call stack, I can look at the variables, and, you know, most of the time, I mean, let's be honest, like, a lot of the PHP code is pretty simple. So I don't use it that often, but when you need it, you need it. Chat is way laggy. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so let's fix this other issue for Ries first. Well, really for me, but we'll say it's for him. So the issue is that you can see here in the URL it's got section. And if it's a category, it would say category. But there's honestly no need for this. Like, I just put it in there because it kind of looked nice, let you know where you were at. But it's passed in as a variable anyway. And it would actually take more refactoring to try and fix it so that there could be a dynamic something in here, I think. Yeah, because that's the controller part. You know what? Maybe it wouldn't. But this strictly isn't necessary. It's really just decoration. I don't think I'm even reading it. So, yeah, like I said, if it was a category, it would say category. If whenever commerce is a thing, it'll say product. Or what is? Yeah, product. I think. It's been a while since I've worked on it. So let me think. No, it's actually going to be way easier to just remove it. So let's do that. Alright, first thing we gotta do is our route. Edit content. Source bundle type. We don't need you anymore. I'm just going to make double sure that I don't actually need that. Yeah. Yeah. It's passing in all of this stuff anyway. And it's not looking at the segments for any of this stuff. Yeah. Yep. Let's just nuke it. Alright, so that'll get rid of it from there. And then we need to... We'll also need... Well, let me check the controller. Ah, crap. I do actually use it here. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Rias, and that's probably why I did it in the beginning, and it does depend on it. So, that way of fixing it is not going to cut it. Alright, I have to look at how I build this menu. I mean, I guess I can just check if this thing exists. And if it does, I'll tack it on. I think I'm already doing similar things. And that is in settings includes. Alright, so we can just do this. And this drives me insane too, Rias. You know, you run into this. I don't get it. Like, it doesn't indent twig the way it should. I always have to do that. Like, why? And actually, there's no reason for us to do this here. Let's do it up here where we define the base URL. I think we can do this a better way. See, I'm using the string literals here. There we go. Who needs if statements? Is that gonna barf if it's null? I think it will. It's annoying. You make a point to never use switch or case. Interesting. Yeah, I can see why you would do that. That's a reasonable way to do it. I am pretty sure that this is going to barf on pages where it's not defined. What the hell? Edit content section. Oh, it's the first paragraph. It's not the second one. Okay. Easy enough. Oh my goodness. What am I doing? Okay, so I actually did need to do it. I can't put it on the base URL. Awesome. All right, let's go back to the way that we were doing it in the beginning then. All right, so it has to be... Oh, wait a minute. It totally should have worked. All right, edit content, section, homepage default. Edit content. What the hell? How is that happening? Oh, the controller handle isn't what I think it is. I see. Got it. So it's actually passing that down in the controller. Which makes sense because that's going to be constant for all of them, but then so is this. All right, so we don't need to do any of this. Awesome. I think we actually pass it in. Be another good case for a literal here, wouldn't it, Rios? String literal. Totally would. And this needs to be this. Screw it, we're gonna do it. I actually like it a lot better in places where I'm not mixing and matching twig stuff. Alright, so this actually should be a slash. So Ben is asking, why am I doing... Why am I doing this? Why am I doing $? Technically, it works either way in PHP. There's some edge case And I can't remember what it is where it doesn't work. And I might be conflating that with Bash. With Shell too, I'm not sure. But either one works. To me, it makes it clearer that, hey, this is a variable, but, I mean, we are kind of making that clear already, so... Oh, right. No, Ben, you actually totally saved me. So the bug that I'm running into is exactly what you're talking about. So if you do this is how, if you need, I can't think of a good word for it, but variables, right? So if you do this, whatever the value of this variable is what ends up getting substituted in as the variable. Does that make sense? So you're right that actually the way that I'm doing it here is wrong. But it is something you can do. Like if I didn't know what the name of this variable needed to be dynamic that was being passed in, then you would do it this way. Yes, now it's all coming back to me. I probably just didn't finish undoing stuff. Yeah, as it turns out, we don't need to touch this at all. All right. Kaboom. That took way longer than it should have. All right. Yeah. All right. Now stay on the same tab when switching. That would be nice, actually. So in order for that to work, it would need to scrape that. I'll tell you what, you can give me a feature request. Yeah, I don't even know how I would do that. It would need to do it dynamically at the time that you actually pick the thing from the menu. Because it builds the menu, right? And it builds the links that are in there. And actually, that's the way... All right. Tell you what. Let's take a look. Yeah. If I had more than one tab here, when I'm switching content, it doesn't remember the tab either. No. I don't think Craft remembers which tab it's on. I'll make another tab in here and we'll test it, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Pretty sure it does not. So let's put our matrix in tab 2. Alright, we're on tab 2, we're doing stuff, and we're going over to Spanish. Nope. Craft doesn't do it either. So in order to provide a consistent user experience, I think I shouldn't either. No, I honestly think it's a good idea, and give me an FR. Alright, so let's take a look. And Rias, are you using this on a... I know you're using SEOmatic Dev for a project you're working on. Is it a live production site, or is it not live yet? Or Alright, so getting back to it. What we need to finish. So, the SEOmatic Global settings, as far as I know, are all done. The only thing that needs to get added here at some point is the main entity of page for JSON LD. Twitter stuff is done, should be able to pull from all various sources, blah blah blah. Facebook's done, robots is done. Get our nice ACE editor here. Humans is done. Content meta. This page, I'll probably work on this next. Make it less sucky. So the data that I'm thinking about providing in here, instead of just set up, I'm going to have a couple of columns. Whether it's included in a sitemap, just some statistical things so you can look at it and get some reasonable idea of whether it's set up. So what I mean by set up is, for instance, on this tab, I can have it checked to make sure that none of these fields are empty. Right? I can have it make sure that you're at least doing something in here. So for instance, by default, this is going to be custom text. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is going to be from field title. But for instance, the description defaults too. Well, what it can check is whether you've actually set up something for the description to pull from, right? And then also whether it's included in the sitemap. Yeah, instead of these goofy custom SEO things, I'll just have a couple of columns. This will be the link to the actual thing. This button will go away. All right, Rias, take it easy, man. 2 in development and 1 is live. All right, well, it's a good thing that we fixed those couple of bugs for you then, since you got one that's live. Yeah. All right, so we need to clean up this template so it's less horrible. Site settings. The whole identity tab needs to be done. This is going to be all of the junk that is in the identity tab in SEO-matic for Craft 2. Same thing with Creator. And I'm actually going to make it so that it's one tab. And I just can include it in more than one place. Because all the information for identity should be the same as what is there for Creator. I got someone asking me a question. It's a developer client of mine. All right. Social media stuff is all done. You can have as many URLs, all that fun stuff that you want here. And tracking, I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bust this out. So I think it's going to be a sidebar. And rather than having it be a tab here, I think it's going to be a sidebar piece. And then each tracking script, so Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Facebook tracking pixel, whatever I plan to add will be separate tabs here, and they'll just render themselves out. Plugin settings, and then, the only other thing is the field type. and if I want to put that in there before I get a beta out, and I'm not sure. All right. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is clean this up a little bit first. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, okay. So I do have that little thingy. Go. Okay. That's the class. Go. I like it. All right. Let's look at our ugly template. I haven't I haven't mucked with this one in a long time. It's got a lot of junk in here. And this can be cleaned up. All right. Let's get back to this. So originally, I was going to have this crazy thing where you'd be able to edit the whole container for every section, and the nice thing is the framework that I have here is going to let me do that if I want to. But we are not doing that anymore. All right, we'll have just that. And then we're gonna we're gonna nuke this and have a couple of column fields. All right, so all of this junk, we're not going to do this anymore. All right. Let's clean this stuff up. Why did I do it this way? Set content. Data bundle doesn't exist, huh? Oh. That's why I did it there. All right. So custom SEO is going to go away. So we'll do SEO title, SEO description, SEO image, sitemap. Works for me. All right. And let's name these columns. Let's make our life easier. This is going to be... just for the auto-completion goodness. And what is our namespace? Yeah. Look at that. Stop. PHP Storm. What are you doing? So if we got anything here, I have no idea what the CSS is for here. Now, do I do an X? I guess I do an X. I'm not even using this. I wonder what this was. Well, let's see what it was. I'm not even seeing it. Didn't even exist. Clearly some deprecated CSS we're not using. Good enough for now. build our assets. All right. So we should have our fancy new all right, and instead of this, we probably should use the HTML entity, right? You know what? It might, yeah, okay, it is actually in there. PHP Storm does its little... There we go. Alrighty. Just trying to make this look a little bit more attractive. So title, description, image, sitemap. This will be does it include? No. I don't think that one's right. Rodrigo, welcome aboard. Checked your Webpack config. Do you think a neutrino middleware for craft plugins would be a good idea? Yes. I has still, despite the fact that we did the podcast on neutrino, the Webpack config that I have for SEOmatic is old. Like, I think I created it like a year ago, something like that. Yeah. And I'm still not convinced that the Webpack config that I have is doing the right thing. And when I say right thing, what I mean is So I'm using common chunks for this stuff. I mean, maybe this thing is really just that big. One of the reasons it's so big is I'm using the Ace editor. It just seems excessively large. And I have the feeling that it's duplicating stuff that it doesn't need to. But yeah, Rodrigo, it's very, very unlikely. Yeah, software is absolutely never finished. It's very unlikely that I will develop a neutrino config for this before it ships. It's possible, but not too likely. Like, especially for craft plugins, just the way that it works right now, I kind of consider the build step to just be a necessary evil, I guess. You know? Alright, so why we need to look at our sitemap. So it should be in the meta container. Why is it not auto-completing it? Oh, because I named it something terrible. This really should be like include or something reasonable. And this, we want to check the truthiness. Alright, so that looks a little bit more like how I'm probably going to have it. I think that should be centered. Alright, so if we just do something like this... Wow, that looks funky. And this... Now it should complain. Oh, we're not even checking the keywords. Yeah. I don't know, that X seems very angry. Maybe I could come up with something a little bit smaller. I don't know if the multiplication symbol is really the best choice, but let's see how it looks. And I do think it should be centered too. Yeah, it's too small. I know there's a site that lets you search and look this stuff up too. Oh. I mean, these two kind of look like they were meant to go together, so even though I'm not a huge fan of the styling on it. Really? Surprised. All right. Well, good enough. Is there anything else that I want people to kind of be able to preview from here? Title, maybe I'll get rid of SEO. It's kind of junky. Just title, description, image. Yeah. Yeah, Craft does have some built-in icons. So, Rodrigo. So, no, I actually am using Yi models. So I'll show you. So my base Fluent model just extends model, which is Yi's base model class. And the reason I'm doing this is so that you can do, if you do seomatic.meta.seo title, it'll give you the value of the SEO title. If you do seomatic.meta.seo title parentheses some value, then it will set it to that value. So that's all it means by a Fluent model. And I did try out getters and setters, which I think is something that Tim mentioned earlier. I don't think he's here anymore, but he was on stream earlier. He said he likes getters, setters, and I did try that out, but I don't know. It felt kind of annoying. Like I was trying to put myself in the position of a front-end developer that was using this thing, and they're probably more familiar with jQuery, and kind of the way all that stuff works is the same. Yeah, so all my Fluent model is just adds the call method to give you that nice, and it's chainable, you know, it returns itself, and so you can do the nice chainable stuff in Twig. And that's all that is. And yeah, I could get some nice SVGs from an icon pack. Whatever. Alright, so what other status information might we want to have here, is the question. So if I click on this, I go to edit it. I kind of just wanted to give people a heads up so that when they come here, they can see what has been set up and what has not. How about another row on top of the TH row? What would you like? With the SEO covering the set attributes. I feel like Rodrigo is suggesting something really good, but I don't know what it is. Call span equals 3 for the first. No, so the way that this works, Rias, is you're just going to see every section that is anything in here. And then you click to go to the section, and then the chooser is here. Oh, I see. You're saying just 2 columns and have everything in two columns rather than having multiple columns going across. I still need a label, right? You know? Okay. Sure. I'm always open for that. Cleaning up content index. Pushed. Yeah, thanks, Rodrigo. I guess I just don't really understand what you're saying, but you always seem to have good ideas, so we'll take a look. All right. Let's take a look at what other information we have here. Yeah, I mean, maybe image description. Maybe I can check for that too. Which should be blank by default. Oh, status of robots might be useful to have. Yeah, that would be useful to have. That would be useful to have. And potentially the image description source. Yeah. I have a feeling most people are going to ignore this, unfortunately. Which is not so great from an accessibility point of view. Yeah, Rias, I think unfortunately that's what it's going to do. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what Rodrigo is suggesting. He's basically saying instead of having these separate named columns, just have a call span so that there'd be one thing that says SEO, and then you can put whatever you want in there. I don't know. I mean, I still kind of want to have titles, though. How to render custom information on an entry sidebar. Yeah. T-head would have 2 rows. Yeah, okay. I got it. So you'd have SEO, which would encompass... okay, I see what you're saying now. Sorry, I was just being dense when I was reading the code you sent me. Yeah, so it would... essentially, it would have SEO as a header here, and then list all this stuff. So it's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Yeah, he's basically just suggesting I do think it's interesting and useful to have this, though. Yeah, and Rios, I'm not sure what to do about that. I think that it's kind of gross to list every different site localization here. Especially like, and you know, every section times every site localization. I mean, ugh. It actually is easy for me to do from a programmatic point of view. That's not hard. I actually had to do extra work to get it to give me just this. My issue is more from a UX point of view. Like, I don't really know. I think it might be just a ton of stuff. I do think these should be centered, though. I think numbers and check marks and that kind of stuff work a lot better when they're centered. Text can be left aligned, but... yeah, okay. I guess there could be a site switcher in there. Oh, man. I'm gonna have to think on that one. I think that does make sense, though. And from a UX point of view, I think that that would be the way to solve it. Like, I don't want to list everything here. So if we do want to give access to that, I think a site switcher should be the way to do it. Yeah. I think it's doable. All right. So let's see. And this is where it just gets kind of annoying from a not knowing what you're using the host classes. I have no idea what Craft's centered class is. I'm sure there is one. Yeah. And I don't want to inline it. It's nasty. Alright, so web asset bundles. Somewhere in here. Where do they put all of their CSS nonsense? I guess it doesn't matter. That's crazy. Logo wrapper. Really? Oh, it's probably in here. Okay, so they call it center align. Oh, look, it's got an important class on it. Yeah, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Rodrigo, it's not a playlist, it's just angry music I like to code to. So this is Rage Against the Machine, their self-titled album. And this song is going to get me an explicit rating, if YouTube ever looks at that. Alright, so let's see if it does autocomplete. Because Rias, sometimes for me it does, sometimes it doesn't when I'm dealing with admin CP-ish stuff. And I think the reason why it doesn't is, you see I've got all of this kind of grayed out. It's excluded from the project. So I think what that is telling it to do is to ignore it for things like the auto-completion. Pretty sure. Alright, so let's see. Is it? What is this crazy thing? Okay. Looks like it is picking it up. And this is exactly one that I don't want to put it on though. Oh yeah, it is. Probably not the type, but the number of entries, yes. I gotta center the headings too, right? If I'm gonna do that. Otherwise it's gonna look terrible. All right. Yeah, looks a little better. Yeah, I think I will try the extra column in here and see how that looks, Rodrigo. Yeah, let's throw it in and see what it looks like. I don't know. All right. All right, so I would need to add if I'm going to add the content switcher in, I'm going to need to add a method that will give me all the meta bundles for a specific site ID. I mean, it's basically the same thing that I do here. Yeah. And then I'll need to add a route to make sure that it all works. Yeah, I'm gonna get this. I think what I'm just gonna do is get the content made stuff working. Well, I mean, it already does work, but. And then I have some graphic designers that I work with, and I'll be like, can you help me make this look less ugly? I think that's going to be the way to approach it. All right. All right, let's take a look at how we do this. Oh, okay. Right. Right. Yeah, we need the controller handle in there. All right, so we're gonna need something like this. I don't even know why the hell I'm doing this. So that'll need to come in as a param. So I'm gonna need all of this. And really, this is stuff that I should have refactored, or I still could refactor out into a method. Because a lot of this is the same for all of these things. Alright. So our controller handle. Huh. Thought we copied that along. Oh, I did. Okay. So that's just going to be content. I believe. Yeah. Then we need our routes. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Tried to grip my family, but I slipped. To escape from the pain and an existence mundane. I got a night, a sign, a set, and now I got a name. Leave my writing on the wall. No one's gonna catch me when I fall. Death is on my side.
I don't run it through Scrutinizer or ES, but I should. That's on my list to do, and unit testing is on my list to do. Unit testing is something that not that easy to do in plugins, but I think they're trying to make it a little bit easier. And I've seen some people that have been doing some stuff with it. So. But yeah, for sure, some of the setup work for some of these controllers is something that I definitely could refactor out. And I did it for the save actions for everything. Like, these are relatively neat and concise, but the actual controller action that renders the stuff needs to be refactored out and make it a little bit prettier. Because really, it's just a bunch of junk that most of it is all the same. Alright, so we just need another rule here. That looks like this. And for anyone who's not familiar with it, this is the way you do parameters in Y2, which is different. It has this bracket syntax. So it will automatically match for something in this URL segment and pass it in as the variable site handle. And this handle thing is something that Craft adds to the mix. It's not a native Yeism, but basically it's a shortcut for a regex that will match anything that is a handle, is essentially what it is. Alright, so it's not going to work, but we should be able to... Yes, we can switch between them. Yeah, I mean, I always feel weird about not refactoring stuff. Because it irks me to see this. When I know that it could be a lot smaller when it's properly refactored out. It's always very satisfying to go back in and refactor stuff. Alright, so now, the only thing that should be needed for this to work is... Oh, do I just pass it in? Oh, I do. Okay. Then that's in the controller. Yeah. Oh! Look at that. So I think all we need to do just want to see if this is referenced anywhere else, is just pass down a site ID. So we can tell it to pick only a particular site ID. And then we might need to update the URL so it goes to the right thing by default, but that's not a big deal. Okay. Aha. So I am using this in a few different places. I don't need this. This doesn't need to be here. Yeah, it's the plugin settings. We're not even looking at the meta bundles there. All right. I might just add another method. Get content meta bundles for site. Because currently what this one does is it returns all of them. But one per site. Or if it's in any site, it will return it. And if you say, I do want all of them, it returns absolutely all of them. for every site. Just not really sure if I want to just add a parameter to this one. Yeah, I know you can command click to see where function is used. But a lot of the times I do it this way so that I can explicitly control the scope of where I'm looking, because a lot of times, so maybe it's just a habit I've gotten into, but a lot of times I want to just look in a very specific subpart of the project for something. All right. Interesting. I don't know. Do I want to add a site ID parameter or not?
Coming back in with another rock track. Think you know what's all of that?
I feel like I don't. I feel like I want a new method. don't know how that fits in if I want to do multiple ones. See you later, Rodrigo. Thank you for your input. Yeah, Rias, it's not just that it's more work, it's that it's kind of trying to pound the method into doing something that it wasn't originally designed to do, and there are other bits of code that are depending on it, so I'm not sure how great of an idea it is. Alright, so I think the way that I do this is like this.
All of which are American dreams.
Think. I'm not sure. So where this matches and where this does not match, I think that's the way that you pass it in. Like you use the use the array syntax if you have multiple things, and then you use a subarray for this. I think that's the way that it works. If you know off the top of your head, Rias, let me know. Pretty sure that's how it works. Find out. Apparently not. Okay. That can't be right. There's no way that can be right. You know what? I could just do that. Yeah, I think you can do multiple where calls, or you can do end where. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure what the difference is. Alright, so that's giving us all of our meta bundles, so Rias has got his nice little switcher. And then we just have to make this go to the right site. So it will default to the right thing. So we'll just build this link up a little bit nicer. What did we call it? So this is the default. But if we do this, you should be Spanish. Kaboom! And I know this looks like an error, but it's really not. It's just the way I've got the Spanish site URL set up. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if where defaults to or where or and where. I don't know which it defaults. And I think it's better to just be explicit anyway, because I want an and condition on it. Alrighty. Buenos. Yeah, no, that's a much better way to handle that. Thank you for the suggestion. I think it was Rodrigo that, or maybe it was Rias. I don't know. I know Rias wanted it, and it makes sense, right? Yeah, it totally makes sense. So now we can switch between them. We can see what's set or not set. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. And this looks really Spartan here because my test environment has got a whole lot of nothing in it. Sorry guys, just texting something. Alrighty. Could even link the checks and crosses to the correct tab. Yeah. Maybe. I mean, honestly, they all of them link to the same tab except for the sitemap. and the sitemap defaults to on. So there may not be a big gain there. I will show you though what it's going to look like by default. And I want to double check something too. That's got to go away. Nifty welcome text comes here. Okay. One thing that they did away with that I wish they would bring back is there was a in Craft 2 there was a documentation URL that put like a question mark and a link down here, and I kind of wish that was back. Alright, so we go to the global meta stuff. And the other thing I wanted to do, and I don't know if there's a way that I can do it actually, is I wanted to put like a little alert icon next to these sections, if any of them, like if the global stuff wasn't set up. But I don't think there's a way to do that. But like what I do, for instance, here for Twitter is no Twitter handle has been set it here, and that does have the link that takes you to the place where you can set Twitter handle. So it's kind of nice. And the Facebook one does the same thing. I need to fix the name spacing down here, because I use the namespace tags, and because it says meta name equals, it thinks Craft thinks it needs to it needs to rewrite the namespace here. It's just kind of funny. All right. Yeah, so this is kind of nice. We install it, and it will auto set the title for us, but description's not set, image not set, sitemap on by default, robots all. Yeah. It's not horrible. So if I click this, it lets me edit it, and if I click little arrow thingy, it takes me to the actual section. All right, so left to do. And it's starting to look like a real thing. Starting to look like a real product you can actually use. So again, the identity needs to be done. The creator needs to be done. Tracking, I'm going to roll out into a separate section, and that needs to be done. And then the field type. And that's it, you know? And one of the other things I'm thinking about making is an SEO images field type, which will take care of doing a lot of it'll take care of doing the alt text for you, and Pinterest has got some fancy image settings, and it would do that kind of stuff for you. So I may be adding that as well. Oh, and one other thing that... So here's our homepage. One other thing that I may be adding in the sidebar is the some of the SEO metrics stuff, where it does, you know, the reading score analysis and all that kind of. But I think yeah, it uses the default name from Craft. You're right, yes. Yeah. Site name wasn't being set in the titles in multi-site. Well, it defaults to using the Craft one, but it should... Oh, I see. You're saying that the defaults didn't change based on what the site names were? Because when you originally create the when you originally install it, it creates all the meta containers, and under site settings is where the site name is. And I don't remember if it's smart enough to do that on a per site basis, so let's look at it real quick.
What's it gonna take?
Okay. Well, assuming that's the issue that you're having, here's why. All right, so what it does to propagate the names initially, if the site name is an array, which it would be if it's multi-site, it uses the first one. But you should be able to edit it. If you go in here and edit these and change these, it should be different, right? It should work. You're just saying that the defaults were wrong. What am I doing? I could know for sure. Yeah, no, it uses it. I think what you're saying is it's not setting the default right, and I think you're correct. But you can go in and edit it. But yes, it probably should use the appropriate one. All right. Everybody, especially Rias, for helping out and pointing some bugs. I appreciate it. Fighter need food badly. I am going to grab some food. So you gentlemen have a good afternoon or evening, or ladies and gentlemen, who knows who else is watching.